I grew up poor.
It feels slimy when it's salesy.
I myself feel uncomfortable.
There is one simple problem in your way. This call will be recorded. Okay, perfect. All right.
Be
Here we
official.
are. Yes, so official. Okay, so first up, you're calling me from New Jersey?
I'm not. I know you're a Jersey girl, so am I,
Ah.
but I'm in Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, very nice, very nice. You're in Charleston, and is that temporary or is that permanent?
That's permanent. I live here. I've been here for 6 years.
Oh, okay, cool. And then 3 years in photography. So lay it on me.
Yes.
Tell me all the reasons why you do not want to do IPS.
The main one that popped into my head, I figured you were going to ask, is I went to a IPS presentation.
Mhm.
The photographer is very well known, very, excellent work. And he was actually there to, I guess, show us studio lighting and what that looked like. And, he was like a vendor for the type of lights that he used in studio, but
Mhm.
he showed us the way he does his IPS, the way he does his presentations. And it's just something with it that doesn't strike with me. I know it's
Mhm.
very effective. I
Mhm.
know like that's what you do. But there's still something salesy about it that I knew I was being sold to. Like I knew when he put on the music and he put on the slideshow, I'm like, oh, I, I gave it like a little eye roll because I knew that I was being sold to, and I just don't like that feeling.
Ah,
Just
okay. So the main number one objection, it feels slimy when it's salesy. Is that kind of the gist of it?
yeah,
Okay. So we don't want that
think I
feeling at
can
all.
do it.
And then meanwhile, interestingly, you did say, I want to offer a higher level of service. So part of you wants to do more service. You want to do service, but not sales, huh?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Well, what if I told you that service is sales?
I believe you. I read your book. I
Okay.
follow
Okay.
you. I believe it. I don't feel like it's for me.
Okay, so what we need to do is you need to get to a place where because there's this conflict in your brain right now. You're saying, okay, I want to give a higher level of service. And the first place your brain says is yours says, oh, if I offer product, that will be the solution. Product is a part of the solution, but product is not really service. Because if your brain is telling you, okay, if I serve better, I can get bigger sales and I can make my clients happy simultaneously. But if you're pulling back from service, if you're not doing the in person element, you are not serving at the highest level. Because if I were to, let's say I uncovered every problem that you have and I solved all those problems in our photo shoot. And then lo and behold, we're at the final culminating moment. You're about to see the photos. And then I say, oh, here you go, take them. I don't want to be here while you're looking at them. Bye. Like that would not be service, right?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So you have to think of it as like part of your dedication to service is that you are there to help clients every step of the way, not just at the beginning, not just in the middle, every step of the way.
And I do see that. My current model, I send a pooping gallery,
Yep.
and my clients have such a hard time picking their images. And I just wish to be there with them to say, this is why I like this image. This is why this is a better image than that one, or, just to guide them
Exactly.
through the process.
Okay, so that part you like, and I agree. I think that that is one of the most wonderful parts because you're the artist, you're the trusted advisor, and they want to hear from you, and they actually need to hear from you because they get trapped in their own heads. Like so many times, I'll think of this one story where I had a client, and the first time she saw the image of her daughter, she went, "Oh my God, I love that so much." And then the second time she said, "No, cut it." And I said, "What are you doing? Why are you cutting that? You just said you love it so much." And she said, "Oh, well, I'm just worried about." And then she said something completely non consequential, like a stray hair or, wrinkle or something. And I'm like, oh my God, stop. We're not going to cut this image when that's something I will obviously fix in Photoshop. And if she were
Yes.
left to her own devices, she would have 100% cut the image that made her so happy when she saw it. So, yeah, that's what we got to do. We got to be there for them. So there's something though in the salesiness that you're pulling back from. And so there's something about it like that feels contrived, that doesn't feel genuine. So we just need to
Yes.
find out how do we create sales on your level? Like how do we create sales that feels genuine? And you know this because you and I were Jersey girls. We're like to the point, right?
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Yes. I don't want to feel hoodwinked. And
Yes.
there's an IPS photographer also in this area that I've had um, interactions with the clients who say, "Oh, have you ever done this place? Have you ever heard of this place?" And they don't have nice things to say. Like they
Ah.
feel like they were hoodwinked.
Oh,
Like
oh, like they
just
went
tell
to a
me the
place that
price.
didn't feel good. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and it's
Yeah.
more than once, and I don't want to be that person.
Okay, you're not going to be that person because you are going to do like this is the beautiful thing about having different service providers and different opportunities because there are so many photographers people can go to. But when you attract your kind of people to you, they're going to resonate with who you are as a person and they're going to like your style. Because, like, I know even in my market, there's a half dozen photographers. Some of them I've even taught, and they're doing the same techniques as me, but they're doing it with their personality and their style. So we will naturally attract people differently. And so if it feels like kind of, I don't know, like sleazy to, oh, I'm going to here have the tissues because I know you're going to cry while I play this sad,
Right,
sad music, like don't do that.
right,
Just
right.
instead, like you can be like, hey, are you ready? I've got some popcorn. Let's have some fun. Let's look at these. You're going to bring your flair. It doesn't have to be someone else's flair.
Okay, okay, fair.
Okay. So, yes, products would be good. Yes, more service would be good. And if you could do sales in your way, is there anything else that's holding you back from moving forward with IPS?
Yes, and I know it's something that I have to work on.
Okay.
I grew up poor, and I find I've been more recently traveling in higher level circles,
Hmm.
and I myself feel uncomfortable. Like I got invited to
Yes.
this $1 million house for Thanksgiving, and it's just so there's so much money, and I don't know that life.
Okay, absolutely. And it makes you feel like, how can I charge thousands or, as some of our photographers charge tens of thousands of dollars. How can anyone pay that kind of money, right? It feels
Right,
outrageous. And there's just like
right,
a disalignment. So do you feel that right now your work is worth 500, but not worth 5,000?
correct. Yes.
Ah, okay. And is that because to you it's enjoyable and delightful? And is it fair for you to make money doing something you love?
Maybe some of it is just I compare myself to other people and I just don't. I think my work is more organic
Mhm.
and like it's just that to me, it's like a higher level of the cell phone that you could do on your own.
Okay. Okay. So every artist worth her salt is going to think she could be better at art. Every photographer feels this. I am literally a master photographer, and I still to this day I'm like, I wish I was better at lighting. I mean, there's always going to be something. But I can tell you that the very first clients I had, year one, obviously I'm now a better photographer than I was year one, but they still come back to me and they still pay the same amount and they pay big because it's not always about the art. It is about the service. It's about the way they feel. It's about the experiences you create. So you got to get out of the mindset that the only way to make money is if your art is the best. Okay. So that is just a mental hurdle that you will slowly start to chip away at. But the other piece that's holding you back right now is you're saying, I grew up poor. And I think so many people identify with that. And if we look at it, I mean, factually, if someone is the top 1% in your state, or if someone is the top 10% of their state, by definition, that means 90% of people are not that level of wealth. So most of us don't have any understanding of what it means to be affluent, to be in the top 1% or the top 10%, because 90% of us aren't there. So everyone is coming from this very similar place where I do not feel wealthy, dot, 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 yet. That's going to be something that you're going to have to work on. It's the idea that do you have to be wealthy in order to be in wealthy communities? Like the person who is driving up to clean that client's house, are they driving a Porsche? Is the personal trainer driving a Ferrari? No. I mean, we are service providers and our clients don't expect us to necessarily have the same level of earnings as them. Not to say that we can't, but they do not expect it. So you can, as long as you're coming in with a genuine service-based heart, you can be there to serve your client and you do not have to be at their income level to serve them.
Okay. True.
Yes. So mostly,
Yes,
I think the thing is it's mindset blocks that are stopping you, huh?
I think so. Yes. And
Okay.
not having the money to invest in a
Not
program.
having
I
that.
want some
Oh,
sort
that's
of
tough.
program.
That's tough too, because it's always this, rock and a hard place, like very catch 22 too. Okay. I need money to make the next move, but I can't make the next move because I don't have money.
Correct. Yes,
And you
correct.
you you also said something really interesting. You said, "I don't believe I can get clients until I have the money to advertise." So
Yes.
there's a piece of this that marketing wise, you don't feel like you're ready for the next step either, huh?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Been there as well. So when I started, I accidentally found the best marketing method possible. And I say accidentally because I don't know if I would have planned it this way. I did it by necessity. So I was broke, very much so. We just came off foreclosure and bankruptcy. And I was like, okay, but this is it. This is the business that's going to support my family. This is what's going to put money on the table. I am the breadwinner. So I said, well, I don't have thousands of dollars to spend on marketing. So, what can I do with the little resources I have? And that's when I discovered networking. So, if you're challenged for having a budget to market, I'm here to tell you, you don't need a budget. You can either have time or money. And right now, I imagine you don't have money, but you do have time, right?
Some, yes.
Okay. So, let's talk about that. What kind of time do you have? What does your work week look like?
So I am a nurse.
Okay.
I work 3 days a week. I'm off in the summers because I'm a school nurse.
Hmm.
And it's part-time work. I
Okay.
work 3 days a week, and then the other time I dedicate to my family, which I homeschool my kids.
Oh, okay.
But I do lots of networking that I'm very good at.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yes.
Good. And wow, we have so much in common. We're Jersey girls. We're both homeschooled. Awesome. And, homeschooling is a full time job all by itself. So it's not
Oh
like you have
yes,
3 days where you're a nurse and 4 days that you have off. No, you have 4 days where you're working nonetheless.
correct.
Okay. So we need to find like what hours can you actually carve out for this business? So do you have a way to, support your time? Like, are the kids older? Could you get a couple hours a day where you can go do your thing? Like, what amount of time can you carve out for business?
Yeah. So currently, I do attend a once a month women in business group, and
Great.
then I probably attend 4 to 5 different networking events in a month.
Well, hold on. Okay. This is great news. Okay. 4 to 5 networking things. You have cracked the code there. Okay. So, and you obviously seem really approachable, really easy to talk to. So you're out there, you're networking, you're making friendships. What does this lead to? Is this leading to bookings?
It is. That's really my only source of booking is referrals, and then Facebook posts. We have
Okay.
Charleston is very large wedding industry, so there's a lot of Facebook groups on that brides always asking in search of photographer, in search of photographer.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
respond to a lot of those, and I've gotten business from there as well.
Gotcha. So really the only missing element in all of this, it's not for lack of money that you're not being successful because you've cracked the code. You know that networking is going to help you make relationships. It's
Yeah.
not for lack of skill in the marketing approaches you need to master, which is networking. There is one simple problem in your way. It's your price point.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. You say very quietly. Okay. And the reason why it's your price point is because you are not giving yourself the opportunity to thrive. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So, Charleston, do you happen to know what the median household income is of your area?
No,
Okay.
I
I'm
don't.
wait for it. Hold on. I'm going to tell you. Ha 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 ha. Place your guess. What do you think is the median household income of your area?
In Charleston proper, it's probably, I don't know, 150.
Oh, well, that's a great guess. It's 90,000. Okay.
Okay.
Now guess what my city of Fort Myers is?
70.
57. Yeah. So your first guess, you were saying you thought it was triple what my city is. In fact, it is almost double. So at a $90,000 household income, now obviously you want to have a business that can allow you to stand shoulder to shoulder with your neighbors. So, if your neighbors are making on average $90,000, I think as a business owner in your community, you deserve to make at least that and more. So what do you think that you are worthy of in terms of income?
I want to make 150.
I like this. Okay, 150. All right, now watch this math play out. Here's what happens. If you want to make $150,000 income, that doesn't mean your business needs to make 150,000 because you're going to have overhead, some things, of course, education, gear, marketing expenses, helpers, things like this, studio rent. So to keep 150,000, you need to conservatively actually make 300,000. So you told me, yeah, exactly. You told me that your average sale is $500. So I'm going to go
Yeah.
300,000 divided by 500. You would need 600 clients in a year.
Okay. That's not going to
Okay,
happen.
so only two a day, every day, forever, with no break or vacation or day off or sick time.
Okay.
So that's impossible, right?
Yes.
You can never do that. You can never, ever do that. But if we did this instead, if we said 300,000 divided by, let's make it reasonable, $4,000 average sale.
Whew.
Yeah, you only need 75 clients in a year. If
Okay.
you had 75 clients in a year, fewer than 2 per week, and you were delivering full service with luxury products, with an exceptional offer and a beautiful experience, you would make $150,000 income.
Wow.
And you will
That would be
never,
amazing.
ever make $150,000 income if you don't choose this path.
You're right.
And you could make
You're
it
right.
less. I mean, if $4,000 scares you, you could say, well, what if it was a $3,000 average sale? That would be
Yeah.
100 clients a year. That would be 2 a week. I mean, could you do 2 a week?
Yes. Yes, I can.
There you go. So the only problem in this whole equation, the problem is not you. The problem is not your art. The problem is not your marketing approach. The problem is your pricing, and your pricing is being affected by your mindset. So that's what you need to fix, the mindset and the pricing.
Okay. What book do I read?
Well, you already read She Sells, so good job
I
on
did.
that. That's the first step. Yeah, I think you need to go deeper now, and you need to understand the very foundation principles of how to run your photography business, all the numbers, all the goal setting, and all the pricing psychology. And so I'm going to prescribe for you Level Up. That's the answer for you. Level Up will give you every detail, and it will teach you how to do things in your way, because you're going to find, I mean, you already know this from reading the book, you know this from talking to me. Like, I'm not going to be some sleazy salesperson. I'm going to be real with my clients. I help them find their problems. I help them solve their problems. And then I say, this is the price to solve your problem. Do you want this? That's it. Like, there's nothing, you're not hoodwinking anyone, right? You're just telling them like it
Right.
is.
Yeah.
So you can do that. And I think you'll find that very exciting and very wonderful for you and your client. So this is the path forward. It is going way up in the pricing and serving at a very high level as well.
Okay.
You with me?
I'm scared, but yes.
You're scared, yeah, but there's a lot of promise here. $150,000 income is a great promise to your family. And it's not like you have to make this money tomorrow. This is something that you can ease into. I will say that when I was a homeschooling mom, I didn't have the ambition to make 150,000 day one. I said, okay, well, hey, let me try this with 15 to 20 hours a week. And once I saw proof of concept at work, I was easily able to have a $3,000 average sale. And then I said, okay, if I had more time, I could create more $3,000 sales. And I wasn't even doing networking on the level you were doing. So once I started having that time and that ability, then I could really expand the number of sales I was doing. And that's when it started to open up that 150K income.
Okay. Okay.
So here it is, the path forward. And in the meantime, I have a bit of homework for you. I
Okay.
want you to stop seeing sales as a bad thing. I want you to start enjoying when people give you high level service, and notice when you spend a lot of money for something, what made you spend that money? Like when you spent big on a vacation, or if you went above and beyond and bought something for your kids that most people wouldn't spend that kind of money, but you did. Why did you do it? What motivated you to spend big, and why did you justify that in your mind? Because people do. We know, from the book she sells, the idea of the trading up, trading down economy. People
Yeah.
will restrain their budgets on things that aren't of consequence, and they will splurge on things that truly matter to them. So I want you to start noticing when something matters to you, how do you feel about spending big money? And I think you're going to find that you actually enjoy it.
Okay. I'm gonna have to spend big on on
Ah!
level up.
Perfect example. This is your experiment in the making right here.
Right.
And then you will see how it feels to spend four figures on something that matters to you, something that is meaningful to you. That will make a difference in your life. But you can even just observe. Even I've seen people, I had this one girl, and she was a really tough cookie. She was like, Megan, you don't understand. She was from my homeschooling group. She said, no, I don't spend money on anything. I said, oh, of course you do. You spend on vacation. She's like, no, I spend money on nothing. And so finally, like 2 weeks later, she called me back and she said, okay, guess what? I was at Walmart and I wanted a new coffee maker and I didn't buy the cheapest one. She said, I actually knew coffee is really important to me. And I picked the most expensive one because I assumed it would be the best. And I was like, that is a really good discovery. So this is what I call being a price detective. Why do we make the decision that something that is the most expensive is the best? It is just simple human nature, and it's pricing psychology. And she was darn happy with that coffee maker, and it did not let her down. So even if it's just something small, really key into that and find out what motivates you to buy, because that's what motivates other people to buy too.
I know something that would mean the world to me. If
Yeah.
if I could just get validation, if you could just take 1 minute to look at my work and tell me that it's good enough.
Oh my God, let me
That
head
would
there
be good.
now. Let me see. I was just there. Wait a second.
And if it's not, tell me. It's okay.
No, I was expecting garbage based on your attitude about this. No, I was like, I actually did a double take. I was like, do I even have the right website here? And then I was like, no, here it is. There's the city. Yeah, this work is good enough. It is truly good enough. I mean, it's beautiful. It's like, it's kind of all the things to me because first of all, your lighting is gorgeous. Like you've really dialed in natural light. I think you maybe even know studio lights too, because some of this stuff is indoors.
The studio, yeah.
You know both. You know studio light and natural light. Excellent.
Yeah.
And I love that you have a real sense of connection and confidence in your clients. Like everybody feels really radiant in your photos. I love this picture of the baby being held in arms. Like I can tell you've got that photojournalist eye where you can find a little candid moment. So yeah, for all these reasons, the posing, the lighting, the expression, the confidence, the connection. Yes, you're good. You're totally good to go. So, okay, we just found something else that's not the problem. It's not the art that's the problem. It's the thing between your ears that's the problem. You are holding yourself back because of your mindset.
Okay, you win.
Yep. I win.
You win.
All right, perfect.
I will do it.
Well, I'm glad we talked. So do your homework, study your money mindset, do dive into level up, and all this stuff is going to start to open up for you when you allow yourself to be paid what you're worth.
I am worthy.
Yes.
Okay.
Love it. All right, my friends, stay in touch.
Thank you so much.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Want to fix your biz? If you're a professional photographer or aspiring pro, you need to join me in the best business group on the internet. Rise to the Top with Megan DiPiero. Ask your business question in the group and you might just be my next podcast guest. Join now at rttt.life.